two members of the board of visitors of Putrajaya Hospital said that the tragic death of Lada to specialist Dr. Teh Tian Ya from suicide is not an isolated incident. So they are agreeing with you. They are saying that that it reflects a long-term workplace bullying culture that's been taking place in Malaysia's healthcare system. Now, in your opinion, why hasn't KKM done anything to address this matter? Because what people are saying is that the death of Dr. Teh Tian Ya has actually opened up the hatchet and revealed what is actually happening. Why haven't they done anything?
I think I will look at it as a two perspective. One, these are pocket events that are happening. We had the issues with Sungai Buloh about sexual harassment just a couple of years ago. We had this, unfortunately, a specialist, in fact, and it goes around. I mean, if you look at certain porters like the junior porters like Hartal Doctor and everything, where we're not getting their contracts and things, one issue. So one is the stress level. So if you have too many patients in a pipeline, okay, the pressure always goes down to the low end.
Okay.
The pressure goes down to the MOs, the pressure goes down to the house officers and stuff. Because you see, the specialist will come at the round and he will call the hard calls, but he's not there handling the volume. He's going to come at 8 o'clock after the MOs, the HOs do their first round, the medical officers do the round, and then comes the specialist. And then with the specialist comes maybe head of department, maybe let's say head of department or surgery or thing. Okay.
Yeah.
His interest as a specialist now will go now to do two things. One, he might be the ketua jabatan at that clinic, that hospital. Another one thing, he might be busy for surgery. So the number of volume that comes into the pipeline is not his problem. You see that I'm not sleeping at night, 3 o'clock clocking the case. If there's a surgery and I'm on call, then I'm coming in to do the surgery. And that's it. The other things are already all mitigated. But sometimes when there's so much of volume, there's a possibility of error. The quality might be compromised. So sometimes when it gets up to their level, it's like, how come you missed this? How come you missed this blood test? How come you missed that? So sometimes there's a lot of frustration when things doesn't go smoothly.
Okay.
So that emotional frustration of handling too much or chewing too much sometimes happens. And then if there's a problem, he gets called up to the hospital director. Hospital director gets called up to the state director. So it's always like this. So by the time the problem goes up, it just goes up. So again, I still feel the biggest issue here is when they are stressed and underpowered, things go out of hand. And here we're not talking about a factory time belt or electrical shortage. We're talking about lives there.
But just on that point, because there is a saying, right? Pressure either makes diamonds or it bursts pipes. If I give you another example, if you look at Malaysian badminton, for instance, you look at the previous our great Dato' Miss Munside, and I do mean great, I really sincerely do. He's the one who introduced Lee Chong Wei. He even brought current player, what's his name, Lisa Jia from 100 to world number 10. His methods are tough love, hardcore training, like what we used to see in movies like Rocky and all that kind of training, right? That's the way he does it. Does this system of, I wouldn't say it's bullying, but this aggressive sort of teaching by tough love kind of approach,
spare the rod,
spoil the child, right? Is that kind of approach results in better doctors, in your opinion? Because you went through that.
Yeah.
And removing this, will it result in a drop in quality of the doctors that are serving in hospitals?
It's a yes and no, I would say. But I think it has not to go to a point of bullying. Because I have seen when I was...
No, but to be fair, you got the same harassment.
As a junior doctor, there are things that you do not know sometimes. There are things that you can get wrong. Or sometimes you need to be reprimanded and sometimes it sticks, it burns you, until today. Like certain incidents that you have seen, your friends get it, or you get verbally abused in front of a patient. Then you feel like, oh my God, why am I even here like that? Why after all these years of studying, you get insulted like this, like right in front of the patient. And that also creates like the distrust of the patient. Like, really, this guy's going to take your blood? Really, this guy's going to prescribe your medication? So you feel insulted, but not everybody can get it. A person like me, I'm like Russian trained. I will go all out. If you see what I do online, I'll go all out for what I want to win. But it's not everybody's going to be like that. I cannot expect every single house officer, MO, or even specialist to have that mentality. If you're talking about, just give a scenario of these guys are like military. Are you expecting a private to be like a SWAT guy?
But,
no, right?
But what you are talking about is a natural filtration system. So, which brings another point. You survived it. You have been a doctor for 15, 16 years, right? You survived it. You're now a very successful doctor. So, what I'm saying is that this system, I'm asking you, is that this system, does it weed out those who can't? Or and instead allows the cream to rise to the top, because not everybody can be a doctor, and perhaps this mental fortitude and this sort of like attitudes that you are talking, like going full on, gung ho, wanting to complete a task regardless of the consequence, kind of thing, wanting to get an answer, isn't that required? And
it
doesn't
is
this
required,
system?
but you see, to a point of when you are suffering from a burnout, now this becomes a problem because you are overworked. But that somehow has been sorted, I would say. I mean, the juniors today don't work 36 hours like what we used to go, like handling 2 wards, juggling, and then deciding who lives tonight with like 3 fellas down, and you have to decide like, okay, who will do CPR tonight. That has happened in my time. Okay. And today there's more people in the ward. At our time, there was like one person, you handle 2 wards. That means there's 50 people. Technically, you are the only solo guy running the solo flight from 5 o'clock in the evening until tomorrow when your friends come in. Like, it was like Doctor Strange just opened the portal, all the friends are back at 7 o'clock in the morning. But today there's more. Okay, but like I said, the bullying issue, the verbal abuse, respecting your peer, even though you are senior by 20, 30 years. Because at one point, you were just like them. Of course, like today, if I can see a blood report, I probably take like 10 seconds, chop. I know what to do. But if I was to throw the same thing to a doctor who's like just came out 1 year ago, or now at housemanship, in 1 or 2 departments, tell me what's the diagnosis, or look at this guy and tell. They will make mistakes. But you see, with that comes learning one. That's why it's called practice. But there's also a filtering system where you have an MO. You have an MO behind you to manage that 20 cluster or 10 cluster of housemen.
Okay.
You have a specialist. Some situations, some hospitals have even super specialist consultants and stuff like that. So there is certain form of QC going on.
Consistently.
Okay. So that's fantastic. But when it comes to verbal abuse, respecting your peers, I think this is the thing that we cannot take that stress and just like throw it to our juniors or throw it to another individual.